All right, everyone. Now we have to talk about David Hogg. This is one of my favorite topics, actually. Link in the description, archived, of course. He has become the ultimate headache that the Democratic Party, I think, may have ever seen, actually, at this point. He keeps trying to support candidates that keep losing in both primaries and general elections, both. He continuously verbally assaults the DNC at this point because remember, he was the vice chair of the DNC. He got a pretty high position, actually, despite being 25 years old and not knowing what the hell he's doing. And they did this for a reason. And it was a strategic error, a big one. What they thought was that David Hogg would be able to encapsulate the youth and bring them back aboard because they're being hemorrhaged from the Democratic Party because, the kids are all right and actually know what the fuck they're doing. David Hogg does not, meanwhile, know what the fuck he's doing. This has become a problem for the Democratic Party because they hoist him aboard and they figure, well, this dude is young. He's in his 20s. Naturally, youth voters will flock to the party because the vice DNC chair is young. It turns out that that didn't really work that well now, did it? They're still hemorrhaging them now, which is not a surprise. And it was something that people did warn of. Some liberal commentators tried to tell the Democratic Party, look, this is not a good idea. It's not a good look. This individual is unqualified, and he's probably going to wage a civil war within your party and cause problems for you. They did not listen, and now they have to face the consequences of their actions. David Hogg is fielding candidates. He's raising money for them and trying to, get money for some of these candidates at the representative level, regional level, local level, and so forth. And it's not working because 90% of them seem to be losing, either again in primaries or in general elections. You're basically ceding ground at that point to the Republican Party. Now, I don't have a problem with this. As a non-Republican, certainly a non-conservative, I still find it absolutely hysterical that a political party could have such a mental breakdown, honestly. It's almost confusing because normally the Democrats of the party that they're with it, they understand what's going on, they're just evil. And the Republicans of the party that doesn't understand what the hell it's doing, and when it is handed a mandate, punches itself in the face. That's basically the political dynamic over the last, period, the last zeitgeist, I suppose you could call it. This time around, it seems like the Republicans are kind of with it, and at the very least, some people within the party have common sense, although not all of them. You still have the bitch McConnells and people like that. And then the Democrats have decided to adopt the Republican strategy of doing stupid shit, and then they don't understand why there are repercussions for doing the stupid shit, and they never autopsy why the stupid shit was done, why there were consequences. It's sort of like they're the GOP from maybe 2008 or something like that. That's basically what the Democratic Party has devolved into. You chose a completely untested individual whose only claim to fame was he may or may not have been involved in being shot at. We're still not sure whether he was on his bicycle or in the school at the time. I don't think we've gotten any confirmation on that still yet. I'm just going to assume that he was in the school in Parkland. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So, why does that qualify you to be the vice chair of the DNC, especially at such a young age? Normally, young within politics means you're in your 30s or your 40s or something like that. You're like Lauren Boebert's age or, Anna Luna or something like that. He's literally just out of college and he gets this high level and high paying, by the way, position within the DNC, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And so the first thing that he does is try to leftoid it up and say, hey, we're going to primary out all of these, neolibs, and we're going to get leftoids in there. Now, this differs from the strategy of, let's say, the Justice Dems. The Justice Dems went in with a corporate approach, and this is why AOC and Elon Omar and so forth are in Congress. And they identified vulnerable districts in which they were far blue, and somebody could come in from the left and harangue the neoliberal candidate and knock them off their pedestal. And they were largely successful in doing this. At first, you had the Gang of Four, and then you had the Geek Squad. It's receding now, but there's a remnant that's still there. It worked. It worked fairly well. I mean, the payoff was probably gigantic for them. With David Hogg, though, he apparently didn't understand this basic strategy, and so he was going after districts that were not far blue enough and or not leftoid enough, and trying to knock people off in those districts in order to gain political power. I think that David Hogg really wishes that he could be president of the United States. This, by the way, will never happen. I think that he aspires to bigger things, but in the end, he kind of still sort of wins when you think about it. He got his payday, probably a big ass payday. I can't even imagine what the DNC paid him when he left. There had to have been some sort of payoff. It's basically like, hey, here's $1 million, please go away. Just you're dead weight at this point. Just go away. But the DNC in the end is much more culpable than David Hogg when you think about it as well. David Hogg is just an egotist. All he wants is power and money and fame and stuff like that. He's been hamming it up since the shooting happened, since before his playmates were, even cold, he was already giving interviews. So he's just an egotist. He's a psychomaniac, in my opinion. And the DNC fell for it. And they said, well, this might be a good strategy. Well, it turns out it weren't a good strategy. Now it doesn't it? And I love to see it. One of the most funny things that I've actually seen within modern political history. I mean, minus the Chaz Garden and a few other things, the death of David Hogg's political ambitions, combined with the fact that he poisoned the Democratic Party so terribly, is absolutely hysterical to me, actually. That's about all. Peace out.